I have never met a man so ignorant that I couldn't learn something from him. I keep telling my students to never give up chasing your dreams. And I too will never give up chasing my dreams. The life of the enemy. Whoever lives for the sake of combating an enemy has an interest in the enemy staying alive. Don't step backward toward nothing. Step forward toward something. Better awkward steps forward than coward steps backward. If you don't care for obscenity, you don't care for the truth. If you don't care for the truth, watch how you vote. Once you bid farewell to discipline, you say goodbye to success. The only impossible journey is the one you never begin. Slowing down was how we remembered what we never wanted to forget. Life is a mystery to be lived, not a problem to be solved. There's nothing wrong with you. There's a lot wrong with the world you live in. And definitely get out of high school and make everyone sorry. Stop giving meaningless praise and start giving meaningful action. It is said we learn more from our failures than our successes. Happiness is permanent. What is temporary is sadness. Life is a bittersweet journey, my friend, a bittersweet journey. If you have the guts to be yourself, other people pay your price. I feel like a big faker because I've been putting my life back together, and nobody knows. A man is like a novel. Until the very last page, you don't know how it will end. Otherwise, it wouldn't even be worth reading. The question is not how to get cured, but how to live. Search of truth is actually a search of strength to handle the truth. You've a good heart. Sometimes that's enough to see you safe wherever you go, but mostly, it's not. We have now sunk to a depth at which restatement of the obvious is the first duty of intelligent men. The splendid thing about falling apart silently is that you can start over as many times as you like. The problem you and I have, as wrong planet people, is not so much that we mean everything we say, but we expect that everyone else does too. Comedy aims at representing men as worse. Tragedy is better than an actual life. It is better to walk in light than to dance in darkness. Perfection of character is this: to live each day as if it were your last, without frenzy, without apathy, without pretense. Do not set aside your happiness. Do not wait to be happy in the future. The best time to be happy is always now. For with much wisdom comes much sorrow. The more knowledge, the more grief. Photographs are the reflection of untold stories, unseen beauties, unexpressed emotions, and the unheard songs of life. Feeling lost, crazy, and desperate belongs to a good life as much as optimism, certainty, and reason. The real question of life after death isn't whether or not it exists, but even if it does, what problem this really solves. The thing about lying to your parents is, you have to do it to protect them. It's for their own good. You will receive everything you need when you stop asking for what you do not need. The good men of every age are those who go to the roots of the old thoughts and bear fruit with them. No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. There is nothing frightening in the dark if you just face it. Don't ever take a fence down until you know why it was put up. Being ourselves was the easiest path to choose, although not the easiest to see through till the end. Don't part with your illusions. When they are gone, you may still exist, but you have ceased to live. To think too long about doing a thing often becomes its undoing. In the end, you can't always choose what to keep. You can only choose how you let it go. Anybody can make the simple complicated. Creativity is making the complicated simple. History, Stephen said, is a nightmare from which I'm trying to awake. It was the truth, and like any truth, it was powerful. It should not matter, of course, that I could be crazy because as luck would have it, fortune favors me. Life swings like a pendulum backward and forward between pain and boredom. I like shape very much. A novel has to have shape, and life doesn't have any. Don't worry about the negative people may say about you. Learn from it and move on. Remember, success is a journey, not a destination. Have faith in your ability. You will do just fine. One of the greatest problems of our time is that many are schooled but few are educated. Somebody may beat me, but they are going to have to bleed to do it. We are stuck with technology when what we really want is just stuff that works. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. Being true to yourself is the greatest force to uncover the soul. Of course, a sign doesn't mean anything unless you know how to interpret it. Those who wish to market their good deeds must do well to place their bad deeds on the shelf too. The man who says he can, and the man who says he cannot are both correct. The words kept coming back to him, statement of a mystical truth and a palpable absurdity. Treat everyone with politeness and kindness, not because they are nice, but because you are. The soul exists partly in eternity and partly in time. Art is the lie that enables us to realize the truth. It's good to do uncomfortable things. It's weight training for life. You have to teach your heart and mind how to sing together. Then you'll hear the sound of your soul. I prefer for my world to have the highest certification of being a faithful representation of the exterior world. I am not bound to win, but I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live up to what light I have. Where the willingness is great, the difficulties cannot be great. Life is not about living the safer option. Life is about living a life worth living. Everyone has his own reality in which, if one is not too cautious, timid, or frightened, one swims. This is the only reality there is. Be not angry that you cannot make others as you wish them to be, since you cannot make yourself as you wish to be. Before you find your soulmate, you must first discover your soul. The way to make your dreams come true is to start believing in them. Alive or dead, the truth won't rest. Rise up while you can. Reality is what trips you up when you walk around with your eyes closed. In the calculus of feelings, you never really know how one person's absence will affect you more than another's. It is important that we forgive ourselves for making mistakes. We need to learn from our errors and move on. The greatest discovery of any generation is that a human can alter his life by altering his attitude. Sometimes the truth has difficulty breaching the city walls of our beliefs. A lie, dressed in the correct livery, passes through more easily. The Tide was a poem that only time could create, and I watched it stream and brim and makes its steady dash homeward, to the ocean. Nothing that happens to you is meant to be. The only thing about you that was meant to be is you. Blaze your own trail. There are two ways to reach me, by way of kisses or by way of the imagination. But there is a hierarchy. The kisses alone don't work. They live like monkeys still, while their new god powers lay around them in the weeds. Always try to be joyful and proactively benign to the people. By doing so every day, people have no control at all over my mood. A man is never more truthful than when he acknowledges himself a liar. A great many people think they are thinking when they are merely rearranging their prejudices. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. Some concepts are so incredibly risky they take an honest fool to try to articulate them. Es ist nicht genick, zu wissen, man muss auch winden. Es ist nicht genick, zu wollen, man muss auch tun. Learn how to be ambitious. Don't be a person who wait to be married off to someone wealthy. When there's an opportunity in your life where you are able to stop and be present in the moment, smile, and be the moment, There is no sickness worse for me than words that to be kind must lie. There is no standard normal. Normal is subjective. There are 7 billion versions of normal on this planet. Judge your success by what you had to give up in order to get it. If you feel obsessed to prove something to the world, then you'd need world attention to be able to prove it. Nature is pleased with simplicity, and nature is no dummy. I hear my silence talked of in every lane. The suppression of a cry is itself a cry of pain. Strange, what being forced to slow down could do to a person. There is something beautiful about all scars of whatever nature. A scar means the hurt is over, the wound is closed and healed, done with. Advice is like snow. The softer it falls, the longer it dwells upon, and the deeper it sinks into the mind. There is need to embrace flexibility and make a switch when necessary. It's your dream, it's your journey, so find a way. People resist a census, but give them a profile page, and they'll spend all day telling you who they are.